on every last little thing. So for those of you who don't have motion sickness right now, welcome to NBT Live, NBT Talks. Going to be diving into how do we repurpose, reutilize instructor-led training sessions to get even more training value. So you do a session either in person or virtually, you record it, and now you have this hour-long video, couple hour-long video, whatever. And of course, most leaders' mindset is going to be just post the whole thing and people can go back and watch it later. Well, as I often say, they ain't going to watch it unless they've missed the session, and the session is mandatory and it has super critical information. Some of those folks will go back and watch it. But other than that, if you've already attended the session, the odds of going back and sifting through a 2-hour video to answer a question or to refresh your memory about something, and you're trying to find that 5-second snippet out of 2 hours, this is never going to happen. And frankly, you're putting a barrier to learning in the way of your trainees and to the way of your participants. Why make it any harder than it needs to be? So today over on LinkedIn, I made a post talking about this very subject. I wanted to expand on it more in tonight's live. Speaking of LinkedIn, if you're looking for free daily tips, follow me over there. You can ring the bell. I put out free daily tips. They're aimed at either trainers, whether you do it full-time as a living, or if you're new to corporate training or you're a subject matter expert, you've been asked to deliver a training and you have no idea how to go about it, you can follow me over there and I give you some really good practical tips about the mechanics of effective training. No boring training. Training doesn't have to suck. And follow my tips and it won't suck. It's just that easy. If you're a leader of an organization and you want the training in your company to actually impact those metrics that matter, follow me over there or have your training teams follow me over there. And then obviously follow me right here. Be sure to subscribe here on YouTube. And I do the same things over here, just in a little different format. Anyway, let's dive in. You've recorded this session. Virtually, in person, doesn't really matter. Now, virtual recording is super easy these days because all the platforms do it. But even in person, just having somebody help you out by setting up a laptop and a webcam, I'm just using an old Logitech Brio I got laying around. You could set that up and record the session. Doesn't have to be Hollywood quality. Let's gloss quickly over the fact that you can use that for yourself, by the way. You can use that as a diagnostic. You can go back and review. How did you do? What did people respond to? What did they not respond to? What would you do differently? Where do you need to improve? All of these different sorts of things. Utilize this to get better as a trainer. Put that to the side. How can we get more training content out of that couple-hour video? In the post this morning that I referenced, I talked about utilizing some tools to take a long video and cut it down into shorter clips. One tool was Opus Clips. I'm not affiliated with them, but their software works very nice. It uses AI, and it'll take one video and give you 20 different clips very, very quickly. They have all sorts of plans over there. The other tool I mentioned was Descript. And again, I'm not affiliated with them in any way, but Descript is a really powerful tool where you could drag a video in there and it pulls a transcript from the video. That allows you to edit the video utilizing the transcript instead of listening and going back and trying to do timestamps. You don't like these words, highlight the words, hit delete, it edits the video. Fantastic. It's awesome. It speeds up video production tremendously. A lot of good, powerful tools built in, all the normal video editing stuff. But what can you do with that? Well, number one, you could pull that transcript and pull the entire transcript from your live session. Obviously, cut out all the icebreakers, the housekeeping, the off-topic questions, the wrap-up. Cut all that stuff out. You can turn that couple-hour session into a whole bunch of internal-facing blog posts. Take that transcript, copy the part you want, drop it into a doc, clean it up, boom, add it to Notion or OneNote, something like that. Now you got an internal-facing blog. with a lot of great blog entries on a lot of great topics. So people who are maybe learn more by reading, you can give them a whole bunch of information pulled from that live session using the transcript that you get via Descript. You could do the same exact thing, pull the entire transcript and pull little highlight clips and almost build your own internal facing wiki type system. Again, using Notion, OneNote, something like that for commonly asked questions, FAQs, things of that nature. How do I do this? How do I do that? Pull the little couple minute clips, text from the transcript, and now you've taken this huge video that's nobody's is going to watch and turned it into a far more useful, far more powerful tool. So the one way to utilize that transcript, which is very cool. What does Descript also allow you to do? So you could take that big giant video and cut that down very quickly into a bunch of useful clips. Those clips then go in your learning library. So maybe you talked about 3 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes, whatever, about some very key need to know topic, some very key need to know point. Well, fantastic. Pull that clip of just that 3 to 5 minute thing, title it something useful, put it in your learning library, send links out to all the relevant people in your organization, promote the heck out of it, and boom, you've got a really cool, powerful tool there that makes it far easier to search and find the things that people want. And then if you start linking the text-based little clips, kind of the internal wiki type thing, if you start linking that over to your video library, here's the text-based answer. To see more, click this video. Takes you out to your learning library videos. Awesome sauce. You could build a really powerful system pretty quick, pretty easily. What else can you do? So what if you take all of that information, couple hours session, right? What if you take all of that, stand by, surely because you follow the NBT method, no boring training, it doesn't have to suck. Your session had games, activities, experiential learning, breakout sessions, simulations, role plays, all of these things, right? So you go back, not only pull the delivery, the transfer of information, not only pull those parts like we just talked about, record the group sessions, record the role plays, record all that stuff. You're going to have some really great demonstrations. Here's what I mean. Let's say you do a session where people have to demonstrate a process being completed as part of the classroom-based training. They complete the process as part of the training, do, XYZ, click here, do this, turn this knob, whatever. But now you not only do you have that individual who's completed the process and practiced it, you now have a video recording of them completing that process. And if you do it enough times, you're going to get enough good examples of that process being completed well and accurately that now you can add those little video clips to the learning library. To see XYZ procedure being formed correctly, watch these videos. Click, you go over, and here's a file folder with 7 different examples from 7 different training classes and 7 different people completing that procedure. So record all of those. Record all the games and the things like that. Not only the kind of fun ones where you're just sort of reinforcing one little tiny thing, but the role plays. Not only can you use that to teach, coach, and guide the individual participating in the role play, but again, pull the good ones out. Hey, before you come to class, here's some examples of A, what we're going to be doing, and B, this is kind of what it looks like. This is what you can expect. You can now kind of lower people's resistance to training. Maybe you get them excited because they see, oh my gosh, this is not going to be lecture-based training. We're going to have to actually participate. That's cool. Get people excited. And it sets the tone, kind of puts some guardrails when they see, hey, we're going to practice. Let's say it's a sales training. We're going to practice overcoming objections. And here's what you can expect. Click on this link, go to this folder. Here's 7 videos of 7 other participants from 7 previous groups overcoming objectives or overcoming objections, you're already starting to deliver information to them long before they get to the class. They're already seeing what good looks like. They haven't even been to the damn class yet. That's fantastic. Then when they get to the class, they not only hear the training's part of it, but when they go to do the role play, they got that little voice in the back of their head saying, "Hey, remember those 7 other videos I watched? Now it's my turn to do it live." So now, holy moly, they've seen it, they've heard it, they've discussed it, and now they get to do it. And the odds of them doing it well, building confidence, building those neural networks in their minds of this is what good looks like, start to go way up. So record all of those simulations, role plays, trial runs, things of that nature. What else can you do with that recorded session? Oh, it looks like somebody's joined us live. Welcome aboard. Hopefully, getting some good value out of the session here. So, what else can we do with a recorded classroom based training session? Again, if you're following the no boring training methodology, training, it doesn't have to suck. Like, comment, subscribe. If you're following that methodology, your training sessions, you should always be debriefing. Every time you do a game, a role play, a breakout session, experiential learning, a simulation, any of those fun ways to reinforce knowledge. And hopefully you're doing that. If you don't, be sure to subscribe. You're going to get a lot of great ideas over time. But you should also be debriefing them. What is a debrief? Debriefing, simply put, is asking the participants to give their feedback on what they just experienced. So let's say they do a simulation, they have to complete a bunch of tasks, interact with people, blah, blah, blah. What were the lessons they got out of that simulation? What surprised them as they completed the simulation? What was something that you saw your teammates doing that was new and different and is something you want to do? It was like really cool idea. You want to mimic that. There's going to be, as you debrief, you're going to get the participants talking about what they just did. Now, debriefing is a subject for a whole different live, a whole different series of videos. But if you don't debrief, you are missing out on an opportunity. So share some information, give your participants a chance to practice it in some dynamic way, and then ask them to explain what they just did and what their response was to it, how they felt about it. You are going to quickly, when you get good at that, you're going to find that the participants are learning more in the debrief than they did with your material, what you lectured. So there's a few minutes on debrief. Why is this relevant to recorded sessions? If you're doing debriefs and your participants start sharing these good, organic, natural responses, the really meaty, robust, here's what I learned. I thought it was this way, but as I did it, I realized I have to do it that way. I thought it was going to be easy and it's a lot harder. I need to go practice. Or I was really scared and I thought this was going to be really challenging and it was really easy. Or I watched my colleague do XYZ and I really want to emulate that. I want to mimic that. Or maybe you find 2 or 3 people in the session have the same responses. Record all that. That is such great training information. That is such great, rich material. Those are those little video clips that you can put in that learning library. So out of one session, you could potentially have a couple-minute video of your delivery, the transfer of knowledge. You could have a couple-minute video of the participants doing some sort of game, activity, simulation, whatever, to reinforce the knowledge. And then you could have some real good takeaway nuggets in a third video of those debrief moments. So now not only have they done the session, they can now go back and easily in the learning library find exactly what they need. It's titled well, it's searchable. Maybe you build a wiki to support it or some sort of chat bot to find whatever, but they can quickly find what they need. And if they have a question about whatever that topic is, now they have multiple different videos, multiple different text-based things related to that subject at their fingertips. How powerful is that? And virtually, it's very inexpensive to do. This Logitech Brio that I'm just using on standby duty tonight, $150, I think, something like that. Probably get it cheaper. You could do you could get a $30, $40 sort of room mic from any number of different people. You can spend a lot more on mics, of course, but it doesn't take that much to get some pretty good, decent sound. So for less than 200 bucks, you could start recording your training sessions. Descript has a multitude of different plans. And again, I am not affiliated with them in any sort of way, but you could pay as much or as little as you want. They do have free plans as well. And in short order, really start building out these great resources that I've talked about here over the live. OneNote and Notion also have free plans in addition to paid plans. So it doesn't have to be cumbersome, costly, or complicated. It doesn't take $1 billion investment to start putting together resources. Maybe you're a small firm. Maybe you've got 6, 7 people in the office, 10, 15 people out on the production floor, maybe a couple remote workers, a couple sales guys and gals out there on the countryside. Small firm. It really doesn't take a ton of money to start putting these training resources together. So, like I said, less than a couple $100, you could start doing some of the things that I've described here throughout this live. So a lot of great things that you can do just by utilizing the Descript software. Now, some of the comments that I had on my LinkedIn post from this morning that prompted my thoughts tonight over here on YouTube Live, well, some of the thoughts were actually having somebody help record in the session and working out with that assistant who's recording some of the cues of hit the record button. Now, you could just record the whole thing and go back and do what I just got done describing over the last period of time. But if you have an assistant, you could have all sorts of cues worked out that where you sense that something is going well and you really want to document it on, you just point at them, you give them the whatever, and they start recording. That can be really powerful as well to then be a workaround to get to all the things that I've described tonight. So there you have it. Record your sessions. It's a great diagnostic tool for you. You can really see what you're doing well and area of improvements, but then utilize a lot of the resources that are out there to take that pre-recorded training session and really utilize it in a bunch of different ways. I hope you found this helpful. Hope you found it useful. Dive in. If you did like it, if you did find it useful, give it a thumbs up, tag somebody in, be sure to sub to the channel. A lot more topics coming up about corporate training. How can you do it more effectively? It doesn't have to suck. You can get people engaged. You can make it interesting. It doesn't have to be expensive. And you can really help people to be successful in their job role just by designing, developing, and delivering the NBT way. No boring training. Thanks for diving in and listening tonight. And everybody who's joined me, y'all have a great night. We'll talk again soon.